right, so it's a hot day in Detroit. 88, that's hot for Detroit, you know. A lot of humidity in Detroit, but I mean, it's even hotter from what I read. Shout out to my homie Miguel, aka Kobe 2K fan. He hit me up with this information. Said that, and I seen it as soon as I went on the Facebook page. I seen it. Jalen Duren has no plans on signing with the Detroit Pistons. He wants to do a signing trade with Sacramento. He's going to meet with Sacramento at the start of free agency, and he expects the Pistons to work out a signing trade with Sacramento. Now, what I will say is this. It might make sense of why the Pistons had interest in Zach LaVine. That this may make a little bit of sense. And Zach LaVine opting to his $49 million player option. Now, people was telling me, well, Zach LaVine need to get bought out. No. That $50 million that LaVine got, you absorb that. And, if he don't do well, you get that cap space back next year. So, basically what's happening is the Pistons wanted to get Duren at around 35 million, between 35 and 40. Sacramento is probably promising Jalen Duren the $49 million max. The full, whatever max that they can offer him, not the full max that maybe we give him the full max and they trade him over there. Fine. The Pistons have a little bit of leverage because they probably can't do that deal without a sign and trade. So the Pistons got leverage. Right? I talk about them signing Huerter back too. The Pistons got a bit of leverage here. So they can either negotiate. Now, to keep it a beam with you, and that deal with the Pistons, if the Pistons don't have a pivot plan for a big fella, you're probably going to get some bonus in that deal. And you're probably also going to get Zach LaVine in that deal. Now, can they squeeze them for something else? They're going to give up some more. Can they squeeze them for Malik Monk? Can they squeeze them for Keegan Murray? I'm not, I know they have them. Or they just traded Devin Carter. That was the guy I heard the Pistons like back, this past season. That's the $1 million question. Can you squeeze them for a look? If you can squeeze, LaVine is a given. If you want LaVine, that's a given. So if he gonna sign for $49 million, the LaVine for Jalen Duren, that's an even swap. So this is where it get interesting at. That's an even swap. $49.5 million, whatever, that's the LaVine for Duren. Now, you want to sweeten the pot. So can you it's probably gonna be hard for you to get Monk too. But in that swap, can you get Sabonis and LaVine? Now, I don't know what Sabonis make. I'm not sure about what Demonis Sabonis. But if you can get both of them in that deal, it might make sense why they brought back. It might have made some sense on why they brought back Kevin Huerter, because Karis LeVert about to be in that deal. So I think Sabonis' contract is about, but if you can get Sabonis, that can hold you down for a minute. That can hold you down. So if you can come out this signing trade with Sabonis and Zach LaVine, I feel like you win the game. So yeah, he got 2 more years left on that contract. 45 and 48, so it's going to be hard to make that money work. So they flat out even going for, they doing a Duren for Sabonis swap. I think that's what you probably going to get. Duren for Sabonis. Or Duren for Zach LaVine. If they can swing both, that'd be a chef's kiss. But at those numbers, I don't see them swinging both. My thing is they can squeeze them for Monk, or they can squeeze them for Keegan Murray. Okay, I don't know who else on the roster. But if I had to guess, you're probably going to squeeze them for Zach LaVine. You're going to do a Duren for Sabonis swap. Now, can you work something out for Zach LaVine? I mean, but my thing is if they do that and they still get Norman Powell, you know, where do you go at power forward? That's what I'm saying. You know, can you squeeze Keegan Murray? You know, can you squeeze, you know, then when you do this deal, maybe you get a pick out of Sacramento. All right, man, we do Sabonis for Duren, but we want a first-round pick out of it in the future. Maybe you take that pick with another pick, and then you send that with 2 other picks, you send it to New Orleans for Trey Murphy. Maybe you do that. There's rumors that the Charlotte Hornets are interested in Tobias Harris. You hear that? They're interested in Tobias Harris. So, yeah, it's getting interesting, but I think at this point, you're probably looking at Duren for Sabonis, and if you can get a pick out of them or get something for your troubles out of it, you do it. So, you know, there you have it. Now then, you know, then they probably gonna sign another like little center there as well too. Somebody that can kind of help him and B-ball Paul. You got Sabonis for 2 years, $45 and $48 million. That's what I think about to happen. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit hard for them to squeeze LaVine because of the numbers. They give you LaVine. It's just how you make the numbers work. You know, and what are you willing to get Norman Powell? That's the crazy thing about it. Because in order for that to work, to get a contract like LaVine in there, Duncan gonna have to be in there, Karras gonna have to be in there. I don't even know how much that shit is, maybe 30. So then you need, like I said before, they probably got a little cap space right now. So that's gonna be hard to get a LaVine at $50 million. It's gonna be hard if you take Sabonis. So you probably gonna get Norman Powell at 30-some million. It's probably gonna be a sign and trade with Miami. They just signed Andrew Wiggins back. It's gonna be a signing deal. You're probably gonna be tried out there next year. Cade, Powell, Sabonis at center, Asar at the 3, and at the 4. What if Charlotte, who just cleared a ton of cap space, they get Tobias Harris? So now, what do you do at the 4 position? Well, depending on what the sign and trade look like for Norman Powell, what do you have left over if you do a sign and trade, or if you got, what do you do if you, let's say you get Norman Powell somehow? What do you do in the sign? What do you do to get that power forward position? Because if you somehow can squeeze a first-round pick out of the Kings and put one of your first-round pick with the Kings there, you know, maybe 2 of your first rounds, you can go get Trey Murphy. You know, you got to match salaries up at that point. But if you trot out Trey Murphy, Sabonis, Asar Thompson, Cade and Powell, I mean, the DNA is definitely different. You lose Stu, you lose Duren, you're probably gonna lose Tobias to Charlotte. The vibes is different. In general, you're probably gonna lose. In general, you're gonna keep Jenkins, who is now part of the DNA. You're gonna lose Jenkins. I mean, you're gonna keep Jenkins. You're gonna have a Corey off the bench. You're gonna have Isaiah Joe. You probably lose Duncan, Karras. You brought Kevin Huerter back. B-ball Paul. I mean, yeah. In that scenario, whoever played the 4, it's gonna look so different. So now the 4 is a spot where you may have to fill, because Tobias may walk to Charlotte. So, you know, I'm pretty sure they got something in play. If I'm a bet man, it's gonna be Sabonis for Duren. And if they smart, they can squeeze a little bit something out of Sacramento. If they can squeeze that, if they squeeze a first-round pick out of Sacramento in the future, or if they can squeeze Keegan Murray out the deal, they might have to put a little bit extra in there. If they can squeeze a first, they're probably they're probably, why are you riding your brakes? Why are you riding your brakes? I swear, I'm not gonna say anything. She's pumping her brakes, and it's 4-car length in front of her. People don't know how to maintain distance, but nonetheless. But to talk about, look, that's my thing. That's my I could be 100% wrong, but like I said, when these young kids look on the internet, these young guys look on the internet and they see them being slandered, just like we would have, or still do, you done. Oh, this how the fans feel about me? Fuck the fans. And this how the Pistons, oh, they lowball me? That validating what the fans saying? That's what it is. He going to Sacramento to be the man. They telling him, hey, man, you could be the man in Sacramento. You ain't got to be second fiddle. It could be your team, man. Like I told y'all, a lot of these guys, and I'm not, whatever, however you feel, he feel. I like Duren. A lot of these guys, they'd rather be the man or they'd rather get the money than win. Yeah, I think everybody want to win in the NBA. No, some of these dudes just want to chain. They want some bitches. They just want to put number. Everybody don't want to win. But them keeping Kevin Huerter makes sense now because they're about to make some trades. Whether it's the signing trade with the Duren, or whether it's the signing trade for Norman, if they sign and trade for Norman Powell, or whether it's a trade to get a power forward. The Pistons look like they're gonna look a lot different next season. They're gonna look a lot different next season. Now, it looked like it's gonna be Powell, Sabonis, and I think at this point, I think Powell, Sabonis, and you're gonna see a power forward in there. Now, if they can swing Trey Murphy, if they can get a pick out of Sacramento, I'm telling you, it's up. It's up. But we'll see what happens. So thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Check out Detroit Pistons Top playlist, more videos like this. Peace.